Hey guys,
Hey
I
guys.
can't believe it. It's been such a long time. I think it was June or July.
Was it really that long?
This year has just blown by. We have been on a rampage since January going to CES.
Yeah.
We have somebody here by the name of Neil, very good
Hey,
friend of
Neil.
ours, very good friend of ours. Good to see you, Neil. He was there at CES. And
that was a year ago,
almost a year ago.
That's insane.
It's crazy. I hope everybody is doing well tonight.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving for those that celebrate.
That's true.
Because we get people from around the world.
That is very true.
I don't think the Pilgrims ever went to like Greece.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Or even Canada. They never really went to Canada.
They didn't go to Canada?
No.
Okay.
No, they did not. Not the Pilgrims.
I mean, it's cold in Florida, so I'm not sure why you want to go to Canada this time of year.
Lori's idea of cold right now, it's what, 50?
It's 59 degrees. I'm freezing.
But she has her great looking on throttle Raiti's Rides sweatshirt on.
If you need a Raiti's Ride sweatshirt.
There you go. But it's definitely been a while, and trust me, it hasn't been a while because we haven't wanted to do a live Q&A.
We just haven't been home.
We have not been home. We've been to Japan. We've been to Hawaii, LA.
We went back and forth to San Diego like 3 or 4 times.
And we're going back. Next week, we're going back to California.
So it's a great problem to have, but we just
very good problem to have
about not being able to do it.
We do feel bad for not being able to do the live Q&As. It's very hard. And I know some people had suggested, well, why don't you do them on the road? It's complicated, especially with the time zone change.
Well, I mean, you know what's funny? We did film once. There was when the Civic Type R was being released. I had this perfect lighting set up outside, and then the sun started setting.
I remember that.
So as the sun
but that wasn't even a live Q&A.
But the video gets darker and darker, and so I could imagine us doing this in like the pitch black.
Yeah, no, that would not be fun.
No.
And the thing is you got to remember a lot of these areas. Like when we were in Japan, they're 14 hours ahead of us,
which is the jet lag, which I'm sure many of you have traveled like that, and you might even be in Japan and have traveled to the States. The jet lag was tough.
Crazy. So we have our first super chat. The first super chat is being brought to you by Anthony Baez.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony. And remember, we're going to try to get through all of the comments. I know we're going to have a lot of people tonight just because we haven't had a live Q&A in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, right now we're 10 minutes in. We're already up to 180 people.
Yeah.
So not even 10 minutes. We're 2 minutes in.
Yeah, not quite 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We didn't have no concept of time.
No concept of time. But Anthony has the first super chat. Says, hey, Raiti's Rides, Tesla Model 3 or Tesla Model Y. I guess if you had a gun to my head and you made me have to choose, I would probably say the Model Y. And the reason why, no pun intended there, is because it's more usable. It's just more usable. But to be honest with you, if I'm buying an EV, it's not going to be a Tesla. I would buy a different vehicle if I had to buy an EV. So that's the thing.
Yeah, you would. What EV would you get if you had to buy an EV?
EVs that I like. I tell you, I really like the Genesis electrified vehicles.
Okay.
From the GV60 to the GV70, the way that they've taken their ICE setups, the internal combustion engine, they pluck the engine out and they put the motors in, and still that same driving dynamic is there.
Well, and I just like how the Genesis looks.
Oh yeah, the
style
and the quality is really fantastic.
Kenton is here.
But thank you, Anthony. Kenton's here.
Yay.
We see him from time to time
at the airports,
at the Tampa International Airport,
and at our live events that we do here locally. So thank you for the super chat, Kenton. He asked, "What is your favorite part of Japan?"
Favorite part of Japan? I think for me, I'm going to say 2 things. First, the people.
Yeah,
the people there are so nice, and it was great to actually run into some Raiti's Rides fans.
People,
some
heard him
Japanese.
Talking, and they're like
Raiti's Rides fans.
They turn and stare and they're like, it's you.
Yeah. So that was awesome. And then, of course, the food.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of ramen. I am a big fan of Japanese style food.
Rice.
I love rice. I love rice. Can't give me enough rice. And I love ramen especially. So those were 2 things. What about you? What was
the ramen was my favorite.
Yeah.
But I also love all the little trinkets that you can get
at
the train stations. It's so silly,
that was
but
fun.
Really cool.
Yeah, that was really fun. A lot of cool trinkets and different kind of vending machines.
And I loved riding the trains. They were so clean.
And that's the thing is down in downtown Tokyo, one of the largest metropolitan cities in the world, no trash, no graffiti,
No,
nothing like that.
It was so clean.
It was very clean. But thank you, Kenton, for the super chat.
And we have another super chat.
And we got another one from Robert Carrera.
Yes, and he says, "Hey, Radi's team, what's the biggest zonk given? The biggest zonk.
The biggest
ever
zonk given. The biggest zonk ever given. That's a tough one.
We might have to.
I would probably have to say for me, it's when brands like Nissan, and it's funny that I'm saying Nissan because remember, we were guests of Nissan over in Japan. And they gave us a great time through,
which we'll talk about.
We're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest zonk for me is when brands take away the manual transmission from cars that should have a manual transmission. Like, for example, the Nissan Z Nismo should have a manual. That's a major zonk. And I would like to see the return of the Sentra SER Turbo powered with a manual.
Okay.
Especially when you have the Honda Civic SI.
I don't know if that's the biggest zonk you've ever given.
Manuals. But for me, that's when it hurts me.
Okay.
Is when I don't have a manual transmission.
Because I've heard bigger zonks.
Yeah, but right off the top of my head, those are the ones that really resonate.
I'll let you have that, and I'll noodle on it for a while.
Yeah, why don't you noodle on that for a while?
Okay.
We're two people away from 200 people.
Oh my gosh!
Already 5 minutes in.
Friends.
Yes,
we need to break the 200 mark.
Well, we just did. They just called their friends. That's how instantaneous the internet is now. You ask for more people to show up, and they show up. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Of course, like I said, if you want your question or your comment or whatever you want to say recognized, please use the super chat feature. We're going to try to comb through as many. And then, of course, we got to thank Jacob.
Yes.
Jacob DeWitt's here. Not only did he come to the 1 million subscriber celebration, but he also has the lockdown as the moderator. And just when I say that, we get another super chat.
From Basement Brandon. Thank you so much, Brandon. You only get one snack and one compartment. What is it and where is it?
Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one. First of all, thank you for your super chat, Brandon. I would have to say, for me, it's definitely got to be in the center console.
Yeah.
And I know you're not a big fan of these, but I am. Okay. Butterfingers.
Butterfingers?
I got to have a place for 2 Butterfingers because I don't know, man. I get the craving.
I just don't like how they stick in your teeth.
All right, so have a bottle of water, too.
A bottle of water and a Butterfinger?
Well, what am I going to drink? A Coca-Cola?
I don't know. Some milk or something?
Well, the milk's going to go bad. It's going to go rancid.
No. It's not going to go rancid. You're going to drink it. You're not going to be out in the heat.
How about this? I'm going to raise you one.
Okay.
I want 2 Butterfingers in the center console. And I want a nice large cup holder for a bottle of Yoo-Hoo.
Okay.
Boom.
I'm going Twizzlers.
All right, Twizzlers. You love Twizzlers. And I'm going
center console, or I actually like how you can put the Twizzlers underneath the electric transmission.
Oh, I like that.
And I'm going Coca-Cola because you got to stick the Twizzler in the Coca-Cola.
Swirl it around. Yeah. Swirl it around.
That's how you do it.
We'll do that after the live Q&A. We'll go drive around.
Now that we're
in the middle of the night.
Yeah, why not?
But thank you. Thank you for that great
Brandon,
super.
And I wanted you to see Toyota
Jeff is here.
Our good buddy.
I'm sure everybody has seen that the Tacoma
yes.
went live. And if you haven't seen our review, definitely watch it. It went live at 7 a.m. Eastern time. But definitely go see Toyota Jeff's review of the Tacoma because he's Toyota Jeff. And he has a great personality. He's a down-to-earth guy. And he knows his Toyotas. He also knows other cars as well.
Yeah.
Because he has a separate channel.
Sure, yeah.
With all the other brands. But he really, really loves Toyotas. And he shows you some great things. So definitely check him out on YouTube.
Yes, absolutely. And Anthony Baez is back.
Anthony Baez is back. Thank you, Anthony.
Chevy Suburban, GMC Yukon.
Easy.
XL.
You don't even need to finish that.
Okay.
So he's asking Suburban, Yukon, or Escalade. I'm going Yukon. I really feel Yukon Denali, especially if you go with the ultimate trim, I like it better than the Escalade, and I love the look of the Yukon.
The Yukon's. I mean,
and the way it drives. Yes.
I mean, the Yukon's great, but I don't know. I'm kind of the Escalade.
It's
an Escalade.
All right.
It's an Escalade.
All right.
But I do see your point about the Yukon.
I like the Yukon.
Yeah. And then, a super chat from T. T joined us before we actually even started.
Thank you, T.
Any plans to review the Lotus Emira?
I am working on it. There is a connection I have in Jacksonville. Fingers crossed we can make it happen. I definitely want to drive that manual transmission. And the fact that it's just got a sexy look and it's the last of the internal combustion engine vehicles from Lotus.
I just want everyone to know that I discovered that
What'd you
I
discover?
can heart the super chat.
Ooh,
So
that's new. After what? How many years we've been in? 6 years of Raity's Rides. We finally figured that out. So we're a little slow sometimes when it comes to this technology.
We are not.
We're the Gen Xers.
He likes to say that he is, and it's not true. It's just his excuse to get out of doing it. It's a typical male thing to do.
Yes, thank you.
Possibly.
Yes.
But we also got a super chat from Mateo Alan from Canada.
Hey, Mateo.
Hello from New Brunswick.
That's awesome. I love our Canadians.
Your videos, and I watch every single one.
Thank you, Mateo. I know it's probably getting colder and colder by the second up there, and we will keep you very warm during the winter months with some Raity's Rides on throttle.
Well, because I'm sure it won't be very cold for long here. So Joe's going to be out in the heat.
I was wearing shorts earlier today.
Well, that's true. Yeah. You're the guy in the snow wearing shorts.
Yes, that's pretty much me.
Yeah. And then we have a super chat from Ganzonomy. Thank you
so much. What type of study is that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
The
Ganzos.
Has there ever been a zonkless car? And has there ever been a car where the changes made you ask, what were they thinking?
I have to admit, probably one of the first zonkless cars I could think of right off the top of my head would be something like a Porsche 911 GT3 or a GT3 RS. You know me very well. Yes. Those cars are pretty much perfection in the car shape, form, and the driving experience. The one where I was like, what the hell are they thinking is, and I know our friends at Chevrolet are probably not going to love this, but I remember in 2019 when we were at the LA Auto Show and they unveiled the Trailblazer, I was a little disappointed. I was actually a lot disappointed.
I was actually thinking that when the gentleman asked what the biggest zonk was.
Yeah.
Joe kind of had a little bit of
I was pretty pissed off. I was pissed off.
Yeah.
But my emotions got the better of me. Now I've appreciated some of the qualities of the Trailblazer a little bit more.
It has grown on you.
It has grown on me. But that would have to be it. Also, other things would be like when Mitsubishi killed off the Lancer Evolution.
Oh, that was
Subaru killed off the STI.
Yeah.
And stuff like that makes me scratch my head and say, what the hell are they thinking?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great questions.
And thank you again, Sonomy. And then Adam Lyman, thank you,
Adam. Thank you for that generosity, by the way.
Yeah, so generous. Everybody here. Many thanks to Lori. Thank you so much, Adam.
She is the best.
For your awesome camera
Steven's
work.
okay, too. I'm sure Steven's tuning in. He's all right.
He's all right.
He's okay.
He's actually
we let him work with us.
Steven is awesome, and he puts up with all of his stuff. So thank you, Steven.
We love you, Steven. Yes, we love you, Steven.
But Adam also says, thank you, Joe, for covering a wide range of vehicle. You two are fabulous, but we couldn't do it without you.
Well, thank you. And we can't do it without you. And that's always been my goal, is the variety. There's certain ones I like, and I know that you guys like, but I try to bring the variety.
I totally agree. And Manuel Alvarez, thank you, Manuel.
Manuel.
Sportage, CRV, or RAV4?
I would go RAV4. And the reason why is because I like the way it's got an 8-speed automatic transmission. Obviously, Toyota reliability. It's been around for a while now. So, there's plenty to find. And then if you want to up the efficiency, you could go RAV4 hybrid.
Yeah.
Which is very efficient for a compact crossover. Or if you could find one, which these are very hard to find, is the RAV4 Prime.
Yeah.
But that would be my choice.
Yeah. And then a great answer.
Yes.
And thank you, Manuel. And then Kenton has another super chat. Thank you so much, Kenton. Will Oscar ever be in a cameo appearance in your car review?
We need to get him.
We need to do that.
I think when we do get a Subaru or something, especially, that would have to be
next
one.
Subaru we have.
Maybe I'll do a little drive review with him and I in the STI.
Oh, that's cute.
He
does get a little car sick.
He does.
But maybe when we're stationary.
Yes.
We can show
we'll
him
give him a
getting in and out.
chew.
Yes. He had to fly with us recently.
Yeah, that's our first flight to St. Louis to visit Lori's family, my in-laws, and
he did great.
Yeah, and right now he's chewing on a bone and having a great time.
Yes, because otherwise he'll be all up in our faces.
Yes.
So thank you, Kenton, for that question. And then I saw another question up here. Chiva Tech wants to know: would you zonk him for adding a wing to his WRX? I know it's frowned upon in the STI community.
If I'm gonna be honest,
yes,
I'm gonna be honest. Yes, it's your car though. Do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, don't do it just because Joe would zonk you.
Yeah, do whatever makes you happy. But I am a firm believer that, there's nothing wrong with a WRX. So let your WRX shine as it is. There's different kinds of wings you could put. You don't have to put an STI specific wing on it.
That's true.
So I recommend something like that. But I'm just not the biggest fan of when people change the appearance to try to make it look like something else.
Well, what about if you have an STI and you have a wingless STI?
I'm the same way. I zonk that. It's like the whole purpose. That's one of the things. And I know that Frank and there's a lot of other subscribers. And like I said, it's your car, so do whatever the heck you want. But for me, it's like part of having an STI is the large wing.
Yeah, that's true. That's a signature look.
Yeah. So.
And then thank you so much for your super chat.
Yes.
Everybody, we're going to do our best to try to get through a lot of these questions.
Yes.
We do have one more super chat here from PK. Thank you, PK. Why does VW not take the U.S. market serious?
PK, great question. And thank you for the super chat. I think it comes down to costs and overall sales. I think that they are going to give us exactly what they feel they need to give us that meets their certain price points. And unfortunately, it's not everything I love, but I do have to give it to Volkswagen. They did keep the manual going in the GTI and the Golf R, where other parts of the world, they eliminated it already.
Yeah.
The one thing that I got to give a big zonk to is the Volkswagen GTI next gen is going full EV.
Oh, wow.
So there goes that.
And when is that expected? The next
2025.
Gen? Oh, that's
so if you want a GTI or a Golf R, get one now, because if you're waiting, it's going to be a electric vehicle, full electric.
ET Pass wants to know if you're planning to sell your ZL1 1LE.
You know, I've had people asking me that. I can't sell. Her name is Ruby. I can't sell Ruby. Very special car, and it was a very special thing to be able to buy a car from my buddy Raheel over at Dimmitt Chevrolet. And the fact that we got done filming a vehicle and we were driving down US 19 the day that it was being delivered to the dealership. We actually chased it down, and Lori was hanging outside the window with her phone and taking pictures and video and stuff. So that was it's a very special car. And with the Camaro dying in 2024, after 2024, I can't get rid of her.
That's a really good point. Yes. Oh, wow. Mark.
Wow, Mark. Thank you for your generosity.
So generous.
That's very nice of you.
He says, love the team. Love Team Raiti. Thanks for all your hard work. Picking up my 24 GMC Sierra Elevation tomorrow. Super pumped. Wow,
Mark. Congrats on that. It's a great truck. Like I mentioned earlier, I love the Yukons. I also love the Sierras. If I was going to buy a truck, it's probably going to be a full-size Sierra truck.
I love this.
And I'm not...
Sierra Denali is like,
well, yeah, that's but the Elevation is a cool trim because it gives you some really nice aesthetics.
That's true.
And some nice interior features without breaking the bank.
That's a really
because we all know these damn prices of vehicles
especially trucks
keep going nuts, especially trucks. Especially trucks.
Yeah. All right, so we have.
I have a question from JC. Do I review boats? Unfortunately, I do not. I have a lot of boat experience because growing up, my dad always had a boat and we would always go fishing and out on the boat and stuff. But no, I have no plans. My plate is full. As you can tell, the last time we had a live Q&A was like in June or July. My plate is full with the cars.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep it that way for right now.
Are you going to do any spin-off channels like Raiti's Boats?
No, I can't. No. I can't. I put all my heart and soul into Raiti's Rides. I know you do as well. And that's where people expect to go to. I feel for us, having these other channels just dilutes the whole effect.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. So we have some other great questions that are coming in. Let's see. Jacob Martinez wants to know his first car. What should I get? An old Subaru Forester, Toyota 4Runner, or a two-door Toyota Tacoma?
I would probably go two-door Toyota Tacoma. The reason why is they're bulletproof. You're always going to be able to get your money back on them. And having a bed with a truck is going to make it very usable. That's where I would go. There's another good question by Russell Parr.
Okay.
Stinger GT2 or IS 350 F Sport. That's a tough one.
That is tough.
I think in the end, I'm going to have to go IS 350 F Sport. And the reason why is that I really do like the way that the Lexus IS drives.
Yeah.
But I do love the Stinger as well. I just feel reliability.
But don't you think you can get the Stinger for a better price?
You could. It just, I guess, price is going to come.
It's
going to, price is going to come down to it. I like the style of the IS better than the Stinger. That's a tough one.
I do like.
That's a tough, good question, Russell. I think in the end I would go IS 350.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the good questions, and thank you especially for the super chats. Did you know we got 2 of those?
Wow, let's draw up here. Okay,
so that's Mark's. Hold on 1 second. We just need to double check.
I think these are both from Mark. These are both from
Mark. Thank you so much for those double super chats. We really appreciate you, and we appreciate your generosity, and it means a lot. because we can't do this without your guys' support.
Yeah.
And we try to bring you the best 24/7. Even sometimes, I mean, just to put in perspective for you. So I know we haven't talked about it yet, but when we flew to Japan, so we left on a Monday morning. We landed Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we lost a day in the air. You land Tuesday late afternoon.
Yep.
We had to go and fly film the Infinity concept car.
We didn't fly it.
We didn't fly it, unfortunately. We were there for the week, but then we came home on a Saturday night at 12 midnight.
We left it Saturday at 6 p.m. Got to Atlanta at 6, and then not until Tampa until almost midnight because of delays. But anyway.
And then the next day we had to film the 2 press fleet vehicles.
Yep.
And then the next day,
Monday,
Steven and I were on a plane to SEMA and to also go to California to film the Subaru Forester.
Yeah, the reveal.
So I don't know how I made it alive through that whole thing, but I know that a lot of your comments and messages and posts and everything really help keep me motivated to want to bring them the best. It really does. So thank you, everybody.
And then we got a super chat from Dakota Riggs Bay.
Okay.
And looking to get a new car next year, the GR86 or the GR Corolla. Different cars, but what do y'all think?
Yes, totally different cars. I would say, to be honest with you, the GR Corolla, more usability. Yeah. The all-wheel drive is great. It's a very rare car. It's going to hold its value super well. Not that the GR86s don't hold their value, but the GR Corolla definitely is. You could tell it's a very, very special car when you drive it. So that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, I mean the GR86 super fun. I mean you can't go
super
wrong with
fun car. I love
Corolla is just more practical.
But I do love wringing the neck of a GR86. I really do.
That car is just such a good time.
It is.
And then Kenton is back. Thank you so much, Kenton. Any news if Mazda will redesign the CX-5 and will they introduce a hybrid CX-5 or CX-50?
Those are great questions, Kenton. I am going to a media event in January. I'm not so sure if we're allowed to say what it's for yet, but I'll tell you this, it's not for the CX-5.
No.
So I'll try to find out more information. I mean, believe it or not, the current CX-5 platform has been around since 2016.
Well, and speaking of Japan, that was one of the highlights, was seeing all the different
types of cars over in Japan.
Getting to their concept was that was the most
popular vehicle. Mazda's concept, I apologize for not being able to cover it. It was virtually impossible to get close to that car and get the access that you guys deserve. I wasn't gonna half-ass it. That's just dumb. And some people did, and it didn't turn out right.
Yeah.
So for us,
but we took lots of photos, and those are on Instagram.
And who knows, it may appear down the road.
I'm sure we'll see it again.
So but that's a great question, Kenton.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Definitely. And then Sean Tardif is here. Thank you so much, Sean, for the super chat. I'm happy to find your guys' channel to find my first car down the road when I'm moving to Seattle.
Very good.
Congrats on your move.
Yeah, that's a big move to Seattle. And you're probably definitely going to want something with all-wheel drive.
Yes.
Snow and rain is very slippery.
All-wheel drive, so like the cross-track
wilderness. Cross-track wilderness. I love the cross-track wilderness.
Yeah,
I have a review of that coming very, very soon, where we did take it to the official Raity's Rides off-road course. Sugar sand, mud, trees, animals, people chasing me. It's great. It's a lot of fun.
It's amazing. Shh, nobody heard that. I didn't say it out loud. Hugo Santana. Thank you so much, Hugo. Have you guys thought about doing an old Evo versus an STI video?
I actually want to, and I'm trying to track down somebody with an Evo 8 or an Evo 9 and maybe a Blah-By STI. So definitely we are putting that together. I know that the people at Subaru want me to come out to their Heritage Center and review some of their cars. And they happen to have a Blah-By, an 05 Blah-By. They also have a 22B.
Oh,
yeah.
That would be
awesome. Yes.
We got to figure out how to make that happen. Great.
Yes.
Great question, Hugo. Thank you so much for the super
Patrick,
chat.
thank you for the congrats on the 1 million subs. It's crazy that we're here, but we can't do it without you guys. So thank you.
And I think that's part of the reason why the rest of this year has been a whirlwind, because we hit 1 million in about June and July, and then things just went kind of nutty for a bit. But
so nutty.
It's all
we're trying to rein it back in a little bit.
Yeah.
The great news is that we don't have much left for the rest of the year. We have family coming and
that's
like
another
that.
good thing. Family's coming in town, so it's allowing us to really focus on.
We're being forced.
to stay home and relax. Yes. And Sean Tardif, thank you so much, Sean, for the super chat.
That's one where he's going to Seattle.
Oh, a Hyundai Palisade.
Palisade. I actually have one sitting in the driveway, or had one sitting in the driveway.
Yeah, you did. Well,
just did a review, so stay tuned. Palisade's a great vehicle. It's got
vehicle.
all-wheel drive,
So
and
comfortable.
And the way that they have the technology inside is really
outrageous.
second to none.
Yeah, especially for the price. All right, so
I got a good question up here.
Oh,
Laz Zalis says Camaro SS 1LE versus Dark Horse. You know, you're splitting hairs. It would be interesting to put the two on the track side by side, because I really feel like with the Camaro being lighter and depending on the track, it's going to put up a hell of a fight. I think with the Camaro being the last year, I probably would go SS1LE. They're hard to find.
That's a good point. I mean, the Dark Horse is going to be around.
It's going to be around for at least another year or so.
Wouldn't you say it's going to be harder to get an allocation if you don't already have one?
You're going to have to. SS1LEs are a little bit easier than a lot easier than ZL1 1LEs.
So it's possible.
So if you want one, you better start searching now. If you want a brand new one,
right?
If he's buying used,
you're going to be able to find a used one.
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah, it's a great question.
Let's see, and then also Camaro SS or Scat Pack wide body.
You know, it really Joe, it really depends on if you want the purest muscle car experience. If you do, then I would go Scat Pack. If you want the better handling car and performance car, I would go Camaro SS.
Good. Let's see. Steven Metzdorf just watched the Hyundai Santa Fe, which if you guys haven't seen that, we just filmed that in LA.
Yes, we
did.
Thoughts
on the back end?
Good question, Steven. It kind of reminds me of a hearse. It's not my favorite.
No.
It's not my favorite back end.
Now I'm not going to be able to unsee that.
And I'll be honest with you. I like the design. It's a hell of a lot better than the current Santa Fe. I just feel like they went gloss black crazy, man. They went gloss black insanity on that vehicle.
Yeah.
I would like to actually get a ruler and a protractor and a compass and measure out exactly how much square footage there is of gloss black on the exterior, because I have a feeling it's going to be very, very high.
I don't think we need a compass for that.
The compass, not a compass.
Oh, okay. I was like,
compass,
no, not to navigate our location.
No, one of those things where you make the circle.
Oh, one of those. I haven't taken math in a minute.
Yeah.
It's just
neither have I.
We have a super chat from Brian Souter. Thank you so much, Brian. Midlife Crisis Sports Car Talk. Loved your reviews of the latest Shelby GT500. Anything else you'd recommend at that price point over a GT500? Brian,
I great question, and I feel you on the midlife crisis. I would probably go ahead and say definitely the GT500, a Shelby GT350 or GT350R, a Camaro ZL1 1LE, or just a regular ZL1. Nothing wrong with that. Or possibly even like a Porsche Cayman, like a GTS, Cayman GTS, or a Dodge. Yeah, Hellcat.
Because you can
Hellcat will get you over the getting older blues.
That's true.
When you go on throttle.
If you're talking about midlife crisis sports car, I mean, isn't a Hellcat like?
It's a muscle car.
Well, true. Okay. It's not a sports car.
Technically.
All right.
You went to me. It is. I mean,
I know. That's
you know how that goes.
Good point.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so let's take a look at some of these other questions.
Yes, we got lots of questions right now. We got 219 people watching.
And thank you, everybody, for your amazing super chats.
And remember, if you want something specifically asked or said, go ahead and use the super chat feature. Of course, we appreciate it. And definitely Mark. Mark has really been awesome tonight. Very generous. And thanks again, Brian. And there we are. We have another one. I'm going to leave the pronunciation.
Maharwi Gawai.
That's pretty damn good. Maharwi, that's pretty awesome that you super chatted. Thoughts on a C6 Corvette? Love them. Love them, love them, love them. One of my favorite generations. If I was to add another car to the Raity's Ride stable, which stay tuned because I've been working on some things. I've been working on some cars literally with these hands. You can see all the cuts and the nicks and everything else of some stuff coming that's been added to the Raity's Rides garage. So stay tuned for that.
That's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. But C6, I love a C6 Z06. Love them. 427, that 7-liter V8. manual transmission only, no damn convertible, no automatic. That's the car for me. But even
Good
the
story.
standards, yeah, good times, good time. Even the standard C6 is great. So, or the Grand Sport, or the ZR1. So, I would say pull the trigger.
Yes, Adam, you're absolutely right. And Jacob, 1000%.
Yes.
We're actually just gonna
Yeah.
renovate our entire home into one big garage.
No, I wanted to do that
and
with
we're
the
gonna
neighbor's
put
house
up
when they sold.
some yurts in the backyard.
Yeah,
and
some
we'll just
yurt, a
sleep
big
in them.
yurt. Yeah, that would be a load of fun.
Okay, so we have a question from Luke. Would you take a C7 Z51 Stingray or an SS1LE?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think in the end, I would have to go C7 Z51. And the reason why is you have a lighter car, better handling car, and it's the last of the front engine Corvettes.
Yeah.
So that's the way I would go. Not that the SS1LE is bad.
I agree.
It's just that's the way I would go.
Yeah.
That's me personally, the way I would go. Another thing I want to tell everybody before we get to that next super chat is make sure, please tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. I know I try to post usually 5 p.m. Eastern time. 3 p.m. Eastern time. That is the embargo lift time on two. Well, technically that's 4 because if I go like this, 2 new redesigned vehicles.
But we can't tell you what they
from
are.
Chevrolet. I can say Chevrolet.
But you can't say what they are.
I can't say what they are. So be here tomorrow. Set your clock. Get a sundial.
Just take a pen and write it on
carve
your hand.
Carve it in your skin.
And don't wash yourself.
That's right. Well, you can wash yourself, just don't wash that.
You can't wash your hands.
But be here on Raity's Rides 2, not just one review, two reviews, Chevy redesign. I think you're going to be pretty impressed.
I can't wait.
So it's going to be exciting.
Thank you for that reminder because
Yes.
I didn't have that written down.
I actually have had to sit on it. The embargo was supposed to be earlier in November. They told all the auto journalists, Chevrolet told all the auto journalists they wanted to hold off and wait until the end of the month. Tomorrow is the day. So make sure you're here tomorrow.
Yes.
Tune in 3 p.m. Eastern.
Everybody's guessing.
Landon, what's up, Landon?
Yes.
Thank you for the super chat.
When will we see leaks on the 4Runner design?
You know, it's going to be interesting. I think we still got a while to go. And the reason why is that Toyota still needs to come out with a redesigned RAV4. I think that the RAV4 is more important because think about
That's
it.
a good point.
The RAV4 was last redesigned in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
CR-V's been redesigned.
Yep.
Kia Sportage has been redesigned.
Mm-hmm.
Hyundai Tucson has been redesigned. Rogue has been redesigned. Equinox, not yet, but it's coming.
Yeah.
But now it's time for the RAV4. So I think the RAV4 is going to happen before the 4Runner because the 4Runner is still selling. And to be honest with you, if I needed a go-to for a kick-ass off-roader, I'm going 4Runner TRD Pro, and you know that.
I know you love that.
You know it. I love it. I love it. Give me the 5-speed automatic. Give me the knobs that are like the size of silver dollars to adjust. Give me that naturally aspirated V6 that is bulletproof, and I'll be a happy camper.
That's a good point.
Thank you.
David,
thank you, Landon.
And then David Wade has a super chat. Thank you, David. He says, new Tacoma or regeared supercharged 2023 Tacoma? It's got a supercharger on it.
I would say new Tacoma. And the reason why is that, and I can say this now because the review went live.
Right.
The new Tacoma rides so much nicer than the old Tacoma. Like it's less truck bouncy.
Mm-hmm.
Still drives like a truck because there's no way to get around that. It's a truck, but less bouncy.
Totally.
The interior is freaking amazing.
I really like the new Tacoma.
Yeah.
I mean, I as much as the supercharger is awesome.
Yeah, superchargers are awesome.
It's going to be.
I would go new Tacoma.
New Tacoma.
I would.
It really does ride.
I would.
Amazing.
And if
Great
you're
question,
wondering where the hybrid versions are, there's going to be a second media drive at the beginning of next year.
Yeah. And then, so thank you again for that super chat. We also have a super chat from Bree in Canada.
Hey, Bree.
I'm debating on a CLA 45 or CLS 53. What's best?
I think personally, I would go with the CLS 53. I think that the way it drives, the usability, the overall power, that would be the way I would go.
Great question, Bree.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us from Canada. And then Lil Danny 904.
Lil Danny.
Thank you again for the super chat. Audi RS3 or Cadillac CT4V
Easy.
Blackwing for a fun weekend
Easy.
canyon carver.
Easy.
They are both within 65 to 75K range, which is why he's comparing.
Easy. I would go Cadillac CT4V Blackwing.
Yeah.
Spec mine with a 6-speed manual. You got no lift shift. You got some awesome interior pieces. And those cars aren't going to be around forever either.
That's true.
So I love an RS3. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like the handling, there's just something more special about the CT4V Blackwing. Here's something that will probably blow your mind, everybody. If it came down to a 5V Blackwing or a 4V Blackwing and they were sitting next to one another, I would probably go 4V Blackwing.
And why is that?
I just love tossing it around. When we go through my favorite twisty bits, I love tossing that car around like no tomorrow. You could wring its neck.
And why is that? Is it
because it's lighter? It's less horsepower, but I'm okay with that. And it's just that one has the most aero downforce at the front of any Cadillac ever produced.
So
that
looks good.
Yeah,
that car looks good. Really great question. We have some more super chats just came in.
Yes, thank you for the super chats. We appreciate you.
Viram Verby wants to know, looking forward to that Raity's Garage video.
Oh, we're looking forward to bringing it to you.
Very curious what you drive. Would you go with a new Cayman GTS or save $35K and get a new M2?
I personally would go GTS. And the reason why is that, yes, saving the money is nice.
Yes. Well, it's a lot of money too.
It is. You can't take the money with you. When you're dead, you can't take the money with you.
That's true.
Can't take the Cayman either, but you can enjoy the Cayman GTS while you're alive. And I'm telling you, between the two, the Cayman GTS is going to make you feel more alive. Everybody that I have ever talked to that has owned any kind of Cayman, not even just a GTS, but any kind of Cayman, and they have sold it, it's the one car they wish they could have kept.
I've heard that. Same thing.
The balance of that car, it's so unbelievable with having the engine right behind you. M2 is great. It's a nice car. The PDK is better in the Cayman if you're going to go automatic. And if you're going to go manual, the 6-speed in the Cayman GTS destroys the manual in the BMW. Destroys it.
Yeah.
Just destroys it. I don't know if you heard me. It destroys it.
It doesn't.
So I would go Cayman GTS. And you know what? It still has a nice high red line. I think it red lines at 7,800 RPM.
That's pretty freaking high.
Woo! Give me that Cayman.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
I think he knows which way he's going to go, Viram.
Probably Cayman.
Yeah, you might want to consider the Cayman if you can. Great question.
Yes.
Nishant Sean Kira has a question and a super chat. Thank you so much for the super
chat.
Yes,
thank you, Nishant.
I love your videos. I never miss any videos. What would you recommend? Audi Q3, VW Taos, or Jeep Renegade?
I would stay clear of the Jeep Renegade. Stay way clear. All that is, and I'm sorry, is a rebadged Fiat.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get real.
Yeah.
Taos is nice, but if you go Audi Q3, you're going to notice a big difference between the way it drives and the way the Taos drives.
Yeah.
So yes, it costs a little bit more money, but I would go Q3. Like, I'd rather have a base Q3 than a fully loaded Taos. Yeah. That's just me.
No, yeah.
That's just me.
I 100% agree.
There you go.
Great question.
Great question.
Sean Tardif is back with another super chat. Thank you, Sean. Which old car brand would you have back?
Easy. Pontiac.
I was just.
We build excitement. Pontiac. I love Pontiac. My first car was a Pontiac Firebird with a V8 and a 4-speed. I wish they came back, man. It's a damn shame that Buick stuck around and Pontiac died. What the hell were they thinking?
We got another super chat. I don't want to lose my place.
Okay,
so
yes.
Thank you so much, Sean, for that
Thank
really
you, Sean.
great question. Garrison Damons, I found his super chat.
Oh, thank you, Garrison. Good job with your eagle eyes.
Thank you. Yes. What do you think of the 2023 Toyota Camry TRD?
Love it. Camry TRD is great. And if you're thinking about getting one, pull the trigger now, because guess what? The V6 is dead. The V6 is dead in the next Camry. I'm not even sure that they'll ever do a Camry TRD again, because think about it. Everything now is GR based. TRD is with the trucks. GR is with the cars. So it will be interesting to see if they eventually come out with some type of GR Camry, but don't count on it. So I would get one now.
Good point.
Yes.
All right. So do you want to take a look through some of these?
Amber has a good question. Thoughts on the 2024 Kona Limited? It's nice. I think Hyundai has done a hell of a job from the previous gen to the current gen. But if I was going to buy, where are you going?
I'm letting Oscar make a little.
Oh, Oscar. Here he is. He's such a good little. There we go.
He would make an appearance.
Hey, we love this little boy. We've now had Oscar for about 6 months.
Yes, he's chewing on a bone right
now.
So
and he is just such a sweetheart. We rescued him from the Humane Society. His previous owner left him in a cage next to a dumpster.
Yeah.
It was awesome because Lori and Oscar entered a Halloween costume competition. He was Yoda and she was a Jedi. It was fantastic. He was adorable. He was so adorable. I'll have to post some pictures on the community page. But Kona's nice. It just, to be honest with you, I probably would go like a Mazda CX-30. I like the CX-30 more, even though it's a little smaller.
Yeah.
What else is out there that's off the top of my head? I'd probably go Mazda CX-30.
What's your favorite car? Sunjib wants to know.
Easy. Ferrari F40.
There you go, Sunjib.
Ferrari F40 all day long. Yep. That would be my ultimate dream car if I could get one.
Okay, let's see.
I got one dumb Ninja, 24 Elantra N or 24 Mustang EcoBoost. It really depends on what you want. If you want the purest driving experience, Elantra N is the way to go. If you want a larger car that has, that classic style, then the Mustang EcoBoost.
That makes
but
sense.
The Mustang EcoBoost is not going to handle as well. It'll be faster in a straight line.
Right.
0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds. But driving and just pure fun, the Elantra N is the way to go. And the price.
Someone asked earlier if I was your girlfriend or if we were married.
She is my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend that I get to date for the rest of my life, and I'm very happy about that.
Don't look so sad when you say that.
I don't look sad.
Sweet.
I look sad?
Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
No, not at all. I love spending my life with you.
You're very sweet. That's very sweet of you to say. Luis Garcia, thank you so much,
Luis.
Purchased the 23 Camaro 2SS and use your videos for reference.
Nice.
Couldn't find as much performance power anywhere else for $50K. First V8 sports car for me, and I'm loving it. Love the content.
Awesome, Luis. Congratulations.
That's fantastic.
And you know what? You got a car, like I said, January 2024, production ends. It's over. So whatever you're going to see on lots after January 2024 is all that you're going to get for a Camaro.
That's it.
But they say it might come back as an electric vehicle.
Well, probably a crossover.
I give a damn.
Yeah, I know. Zachary Gioello, thank you so much, Zachary. Can you try and do a review of the new Dodge Challenger? We did do a one review on the.
We did do a walk around review.
So if you haven't seen that,
but they want to see it driven. They want to see me go on throttle. But if you haven't seen that review, what Lori and I are very proud of that review is that we actually flew ourselves out.
Yeah.
To Las Vegas, paid for the trip, paid for the hotel. Dodge was kind enough to give us access. We got our access. That video has more views than I think most other Demon reviews out there.
The big, huge outlets that have teams and hundreds of people working for them. And it's just us and Steven and Oscar.
Yeah.
Which he's not really a paid
But I am working on it, so stay tuned. Hopefully we can make it happen.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Zachary. And
thank you, Zach.
Louis, so much for the super chat.
We got a good question at the bottom.
Yep.
Re-up 23. Any info on the GRMN Supra? Supposedly Supra's testing it at the Nürburgring. So what it's supposed to have is the engine out of the M3 or M4 competition. So that's the twin turbo straight six. And they're saying that they're going to offer manual transmission. Which, remember, if you buy an M3 or an M4 competition, you can't get a manual transmission.
That's right. Why do I always forget that? It just seems so backwards.
I know. Tell me about it.
I just want to thank you, Jacob. Shout out to Jacob DeWitt for being our moderator in here.
The problem with spammers is that it makes all the other questions go away on our screen. So try not to spam. I know it's exciting to be.
Eat Twinkies instead of spam.
Yes. Eat Twinkies or
drink some Mountain Dew.
Rub your wood or whatever you got lying around.
Run in circles. Whatever.
But thank you, Jacob.
Amber says her husband loves you. Can you say hi, Francisco?
Hi, Francisco. Thank you for tuning in, and you can thank your wife for that shout out. Thank you, Amber, for tuning in as well. Chris, first Camry drive. We got a while to go, man. We still got to do Tacoma hybrid, and also they're gonna have to figure out when the heck we're gonna do this Crown Signia.
That's a really good point. Jeff Last, thank you so much, Jeff. I love your picture, by the way. Happy holidays. I'll wedge the eggnog carton into the cup holder for the next few weeks.
Yes, I like that. I love eggnog. Eggnog is...
It's so good.
Yes.
I actually almost bought a bunch, and I was like, no, I need to wait.
Yes.
All right, Dan, thank you so much, Dan. Oh, do you have any lessons to share with us after hitting 1 million subs, especially on never giving up, work hard, follow your dream, and congrats on 1 million?
Dan, that's really nice of you, Dan. And I've had quite a few people reach out to me. I once did a review on how I went from being a high school teacher to doing auto journalism with a car YouTube channel. And I think that I need to do something like that again, but I think we need to touch on these things. But since you asked, and thank you for the super chat, I think the biggest thing is that everybody thinks this kind of stuff happens overnight, and it doesn't. The ones that last are the ones that are consistent. And it's about being yourself. People could read through the phony baloney. And trust me, especially in our field, there's a lot of phony baloney people out there. A lot of phony baloney. Sometimes I gotta wear boots because the BS gets so thick. I don't want to get my shoes messed up and my pants or my shorts.
That's why he's wearing pants.
Yeah. But be yourself. Don't give up and do what makes you happy. If you're doing what makes you happy, how can it be wrong?
Well, yeah, you can't do what other people tell you to do.
No, and guess what? People are gonna hate until they're blue in the face.
And everybody
let them hate.
Oh, you need to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to do this. You can't listen.
But those are some words of advice I can give you. Another thing is, it's never too late to follow your dream.
Yeah.
I mean, when I started Raiti's Ride, so that was 6 years ago.
Right.
I was 41.
Yeah.
I was 40. Wow, I was that old.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was.
Crazy. Yeah.
I was 41 years old. So look at where we're at now.
Well, and I tell them this all the time. It takes a tremendous amount of courage to do what he did, which is just to put yourself out there. And so that's what I would say as somebody who's supporting someone and behind the scenes. Is you just have to have the courage to put yourself out there. Whatever it is. It doesn't have to be YouTube. It could be a new job or learning something new. Have the courage just to go for it.
And infamous Eli says, wow, you're old. Yes, I am old. But I think that's what makes the reviews so enjoyable on many different levels, because I've had a lot of real world life experiences. Remember, I grew up in my dad's mechanic shop. I used to race cars professionally after college. I've worked on cars. I've loved cars my whole freaking life. Plus, I feel very honored to have grown up during some of the best years of automotive racing, cars.
Technology.
I mean, the 80s and the 90s were so freaking fantastic. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't trade it for the world.
There was some crazy stuff going on in the 80s and the 90s. Great question.
Yes.
And then, so that was from Dan. Thank you so much, Dan Zhang, for that question.
Yes, thank you, Dan.
Mr. Mondragon has a super chat. Thank you for the super chat. I love my Highlander, but if you really want to seat 7 passengers comfortably, get a minivan.
Yes, that is true. Minivan, it obviously does not get the respect that it deserves, but a minivan is one of those things where the flexibility is just so useful. It's just so very useful. And that's what makes it more enjoyable when everybody has that usability.
This is true. This is 100%
yes.
true. Kenton has another super chat. Thank you so much,
Thank you, Kenton.
When will Nissan reveal the Murano redesign?
It's coming. It's coming. So part of what we were going to talk about tonight, which we really haven't talked about it, was when we were over in Japan, Nissan had us out to their art studio, their major art and design studio for the whole world. And they showed us the next 10 years of where Nissan and Infiniti is going as a brand. And guess what? I've seen the new Murano. It looks pretty kick. You know what? Kick ass.
Kick, you know what?
Kick booty. It looks really good. And I'm going to expect it to probably come out sometime next year. Hey, buddy.
Oscar's joining us.
Yes. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he wants to join in.
Great question, Kenton.
And let's see. We have another super chat from Crab from Canada.
Wow.
Canadian Crab.
Canadian Crab. I love it.
Watched you guys from less than 100,000 into 1 million. Congrats. One question. Worth upgrading from an 07 STI into the new Prius. Keep growing.
Well, Crab, how many miles do you have on your STI? Because I may want to buy it. That's the last of the Hawkeyes, which the Hawkeyes were 05 and 06. If you're looking for something with more efficiency, yeah, the Prius is the way to go.
Sure.
And the new style is awesome. but there's no rumble. There's no rumble like a Subaru flat 4 turbocharged
Yeah, it's
boxer
definitely
engine.
not gonna, get you out of the Prius.
Yes.
But the new Prius design is really nice.
Very, very
But
nice.
I mean, it doesn't really quite compare to the
there's
feeling.
no performance.
That's one of the things I've always said to Joe. Like, if you get rid of your STI and you hear one on the street,
I would cry.
Are you gonna cry?
I would cry.
And so that's what I would ask you, Crab. If you hear an STI, like, think about it. You don't have your STI anymore, and you hear
how are you gonna feel?
How are you?
Or if you see one, God forbid, which I'm sure in Canada they probably got plenty.
Yeah.
We had another good question. I saw Christina T loves Oscar.
Aww,
he is so awesome.
He is a great
Stephen H, you're right, hitting my heart. Supra 300ZX, 3000 GT, RX-7. Those were awesome models during the 90s.
Yes, they were. And then Babu has a question. Do you think the Toyota Venza is still a good vehicle?
I really do. I really think that the Venza really blurs the lines between Lexus and Toyota.
Yeah.
And remember, they're getting rid of the Venza, so one more year to go, and that's it.
And a lot of people are saying the Crown Signia is replacing the Venza. Would you agree with that?
It is. It is. It's official.
Okay.
They announced it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And then Jacob wants to know, what's the best off-road ready truck that he's thinking about getting one of the future?
Right now, I mean, if you want a mid-sized truck, I would say GMC Canyon.
Oh yeah.
AT4X.
Yeah.
I really love that truck. I haven't driven a TRD Pro yet, but I would expect it's going to be pretty darn good. So yeah, definitely.
And then Lil Danny 904, thoughts on the Giulia QV?
They're nice. I wouldn't, if you guys gave me money to go buy an Alfa Romeo, I wouldn't even do it. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to Alfa Romeo fans and owners out there. Just their cars are not the most reliable. And when you compare the interior to other vehicles in that same segment, it's just not the same.
It's tough.
It's just not the same.
Tough, I know.
And they're great looking cars.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And then Chris wants to know, when's the 2024 Lexus?
January. It's coming, Chris.
All right. So
I can't wait.
Scrolling through, let's take a look.
Danny, the QV is fast, but there's more. I know this is going to sound crazy. There's more to what I would buy than just fast.
Yeah.
I want the car to make me feel a certain way, and it just doesn't.
Well, yeah, I mean,
do it.
I mean and that's why it's like you can sit here and read about cars all day long.
Yeah.
And, getting behind the wheel.
You got to get behind the wheel, and you got to drive these cars, because if you're just looking at 0 to 60, and you're going to look at how much horsepower a car has, you're going to be disappointed.
That's very true.
And then like the Cadillac, I love the Cadillac. Cadillac makes me feel like right now, just thinking about the Cadillac, driving that at VIR, makes my heart pitter patter. Makes my heart pitter patter.
Well, here's a great question. Pyro06, Honda Prelude. What are your thoughts?
I'm excited for the new Prelude, especially now that we have found out that it is not a pure EV. It is going to be a hybrid, but I think we got to take the wins when we can.
Yep.
And I really think the design.
It looks
great. And I'm telling you guys right now, no BS, it looks production ready. And when I talk to my Honda friends like Antonio and Jonathan Rivers and everybody, you could see the look in their eyes that it is not just a concept, that it is going to be a production
and of course they're telling
vehicle.
us it's just a concept, but if you read between
the
BS,
lines, it's not just a concept.
Else going on. But you shouldn't name names.
I like naming names.
You're ridiculous.
I didn't say they told me.
That's true. Well, they didn't tell us. They said it was a concept.
They like the attention.
This is true. All right. So we have another super chat that just rolled in from Andy Q99. Thank you so much, Andy Q.
Yes, Andy, we love you.
Joe
Oscar
Raiti,
loves you.
Yes. Hi from Oscar.
Hi.
It's me back again. I'm considering a 300C 5.7 Hemi as a first car. What do you think? I may stuff a Hellcat blower and hear the supercharger whine. I'll let you review it from NYC.
Well, Andy, thank you for the super chat. And, if you're going to do a 300C, great car. They've ended production with the latest Chrysler, which we did the review of that one.
Yeah.
I would say start off with just the 5.7, then work your way up if you're not used to that kind of power.
Yeah, because that seems like a lot of power for a first car.
Yes.
I'm going to say you might not enjoy it as much as you think you're going to.
Yeah.
Because you won't really be able to get on it very much. But
it would be fun with a Hellcat blower, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, let's see.
Wait, we got Neil.
Oh yeah,
Neil.
Neil is here for a super chat. Thank you so much, Neil. Hurricane twin turbo and a TRX. Thoughts?
Great question, Neil. You know, I knew the time was coming, and I knew that eventually they're going to have to get rid of the Hellcat motor that's underneath the hood.
Of course.
I think it's still going to be a very potent power plant.
Yep.
And I think the Ford Raptor, has proven that you can have an awesome truck with a 6-cylinder twin turbocharged engine. Now, yes, Ford does have a Raptor with the GT500 engine in it as well, but the Raptor R. But I don't think that's going to last forever. I think the regular Raptor will continue on. I think the Raptor R eventually, because of emissions, because of all that stuff, will eventually fall to the wayside. I'm excited to get behind the wheel of a TRX, and I really think that the Hurricane engine is what they should have put in the Charger and Challengers instead of going this EV direction.
1000%.
Which, yes, there is talk that they might be going hybrid, but I haven't seen really the hardest proof yet on that.
No.
And when is it going to happen?
Like
because guess what? The poor salespeople at Dodge dealerships for at least the 2024 model year will only have Dodge Hornets and Durangos to sell that are new. That's crazy.
That is crazy. What do you think? First of all, thank you, Neil, so much for that super chat.
Yes.
Motorboat wants to know, what do you think of the Fiero, and would love to see a review.
I love the Fiero. When I was a kid, I remember seeing my first Fiero GT, especially an 88 GT. It reminded me of a little Ferrari. I love them. I would love to have one, and definitely I want to track one down and drive it, especially with the V6 with a manual transmission. Small car, V6, sounds good to me.
And then we have a super chat that just rolled in from Jen K in Canada. Thank you so much, Jen. Is interest rate for car leasing financing in the States still high? Here in Canada, it's still very
Yes,
high.
even with great credit, 7% is your standard going rate. Now, one thing I did find out when I was at Walker Ford the other day is that Ford F-150s here in the United States, if you have good credit, you could finance up to 72 months at 2.9% financing.
That's actually really low right
now. So if you're looking for a full-size truck, that may be the thing that swings you into the blue oval direction.
Absolutely. And then Lil Danny 904, thoughts on the new Ferrari SUV? Is it worth it over a Urus?
I don't even like it. I don't want it. But to be fair, I don't like a Lamborghini Urus either. I feel like there's a lot better looking performance SUVs out there. A lot better. I'd rather have a Cadillac Escalade V over a Lamborghini Urus. And I may be crazy for saying that.
No, I don't think so.
But I don't like the way a Lamborghini Urus drives.
To me, I didn't like all the gloss black.
All the weird angles on it. If you're buying a Lamborghini, get a damn Huracan or something. Not an SUV. Right, Oscar?
Oscar agrees.
Oscar agrees.
Stefan Coate wants to know, I just put a deposit on a Volvo EX30 Twin Ultra. Was that a wise choice over a Kona?
I think that was the way to go.
Yeah.
I really like that little EX30. It was a very beautiful car, very spacious.
Very, very pretty car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's see.
We got a question. Do you guys like the Raptor R or Ram TRX? I would actually go Raptor R over the Ram TRX. And the reason why is the way that I explain it to everybody is the Ram TRX is a freaking sledgehammer. Whereas the Raptor R is a little bit more finessed, a little bit more like a scalpel.
Okay. I like that.
And I think a lot of it has to do with because Ford and Ford Performance does a lot of Baja racing and off-road racing. It translates into the frame, suspension, and all that good stuff.
That makes total sense. And then Jordan and Paige just dropped a super chat. Thank you so much, Jordan and Paige.
Thank you, Jordan and Paige.
I'm considering purchasing a 23 Scat Pack wide body last call, but the current prices are inflated. Thoughts on if they're worth the price and resale value?
You know, it's one of those things like I've talked about with the Honda Civic Type R. Yes, there are dealers that have charged markup. You really need to go out there and hit the pavement, and you might have to travel a distance. There are some dealerships that will not charge markup, especially on a Scat Pack wide body. There's really no reason for a dealership to put a markup on a Scat Pack wide body. They're very plentiful still. And I think if you do some actual reaching out to other dealerships and are willing to travel, I think you could track one down. If you pay $3,000 more and you're getting the exact one you want, I say go for it.
Oh,
because
totally.
after they're gone, they're
You're not
gone.
getting a new one. Yeah. I mean, you're getting
If you want a brand new one.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jordan and Paige. And then a question from Richard Knows. What do you think is going to power the C8 ZR1?
I think what you're going to find is twin turbos and the flat plane crankshaft V8 that's in the current Z06. I think that's what you're going to have. And then they're going to go performance hybrid with the Zora.
Yeah, I agree with that. Nick, thank you so much. This was a really nice comment. The world would be a better place if everyone was as nice and as
oh, well, that's really nice,
that
Nick.
Really nice.
We love you guys. We appreciate you, and we can't do it without you. So thank you.
And then super chat just came in. Another one from Canada. We've got a lot of Canucks.
I know. I love our Canadians, audience. Man. I love them.
R3 Games. Love you, Raiti. Watch your show every day. Question: where does the Twinkie thing come from?
That's a great question. And it's funny because a lot of people, even like our colleagues and friends, are like, did you script that in? None of our reviews are scripted, first of all. Second of all, I don't remember what car it was, but I remember I was opening up, and this was years ago, I opened up a center console and it was kind of small. And within nanoseconds, it just came out. You could fit about 3 Twinkies in there. And then like I saw the comments, and then I just started using it. I don't know. It just came out of nowhere. Those are the best things usually just come out of nowhere.
That's true. And then I just want to just shout out Vish, the old subscriber to Raiti's Rides. He says, great work.
Oh, Vish, I know Vish. Yeah, thanks for being so supportive and being on the long journey with us. I can't believe it's been 6 years already.
I can't believe it's been 6 years either.
Crazy.
And then Toyota RAV4 wants to know if you can please do a review of the 23 or 24 Kia Forte LXS, please, and thank you.
I could actually track one down. I could go see my friend Robert.
Yes. And then Brandon wants to know if we're going to be at the New York Auto Show next year.
Yes, Brandon definitely going to be at the New York Auto Show for sure.
And yes, Oscar for the win, Dan. I completely agree.
Another super chat.
Mobster, thank you so much. Thoughts on the new E-Class? Is the 4CL adequate, and is interior too screen heavy on throttle?
Heck yeah, on throttle all the time, Mobster. I would say no. I'm let down on the power of the 4-cylinder, and it is a little screen heavy. I just feel like those interiors have so many areas where they get fingerprints everywhere. And it's too much. It's just too much.
Yeah.
So that's I would say go an Audi route or something like that. BMW over that. Jacob wants to know, do I still have the Type RA STI? You better bet your bottom dollar. I sure do. Not getting rid of her anytime soon.
Yep.
Took me a long time to find her. And
that's not that.
You're not going to find no. Yeah. Tell me about it.
And then Paul says we need Twinkie merch.
We do have Twinkie merch.
Funny story. Joel was actually wearing the T-shirt.
And I went to the grocery store and the cashier was like, what does your shirt say? And then I had to explain it to her. And then she's like, oh, that's fun.
So if you want to start a conversation with other car people. Oh, and the other thing that was really funny too, when we were in the line to get
to fly back to the United States.
Yes. Somebody was like, hey man, nice shirt.
Nice shirt.
I watch Raiti's Rides too.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh my God, it's you. And he was freaking out. It was awesome because he was in front of his adult children and stuff.
We had to take a picture of him with Joe, which was adorable. So
yes, it was awesome. That was a great time. And the great news is he had a Mustang. He had a Mach 1.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Popper Garage says, love your videos. Keep it up. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you for everything. Jacob put the link up for the Raiti's Rides.
If you want to find a shirt or a sweatshirt or whatever.
With Twinkies on it.
Yeah, please. And then
I prefer the Honda Civic over the Toyota Corolla drink tea, just so you know.
Yep. And unfortunately it's 9:06.
I can't believe the night went by so fast. Here is a promise to you guys. We are not going to wait another 6 months or whatever it was.
No, we're really sorry. It
got too busy. Our schedule has been nuts.
But we're managing it much better now.
Yes.
And Oscar's here to help with that.
Thank you, Oscar. Good boy. So next month, we're definitely going to have a live Q&A.
Yes.
For December.
Yes.
We got to say happy holidays. I know everybody doesn't celebrate Christmas.
Whatever.
Happy holidays, all that. Happy New Year. And tomorrow, I hope to see you watching Raiti's Rides because I'm going to be in the comment section.
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Eastern.
Standard.
Two
videos.
Redesigned, 2 separate videos, 2 separate vehicles, 2 redesigns of cars coming from
taking bets to see
vehicles, not cars, vehicles. It's not a car. I'll tell you that right now. vehicles coming from Chevrolet. But we want to thank you once again. You guys are so awesome. We can't do without you. And it's just so great to not only bring the cars, but the laps and everything else. But just like always, we'll see you on the next ride. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
See you tomorrow.
Well,
and we'll see you tomorrow, 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Yes. See you guys.